Greetings. Welcome to the Morning Breadcast. I am Mark Krishik, your host with Digging for End Time Truths, and we are back again on the Breadcast talking about prepping or being spiritually prepared, right? We have covered a lot of things this week. We've covered being emotionally prepared, being prepared in the natural, and we yesterday talked about being born again or having that spiritual rebirth in you that allows you to see and enter the kingdom of God. So this is really not really a new concept. Obviously, the term has been used and people have used and abused it, and it's kind of gotten a bad rap. That doesn't surprise anybody because obviously the evil one wants to give it a bad rap because it's his kind of, it's how God snatches victory out of the jaws of defeat from the enemies. But anyway, what we wanted to do today is I wanted to just cover a little bit this whole born again or new spirit within you experience is something that was mentioned in the Old Testament, and it's really something that there's more to it than just getting the spirit in renewed in you, as Jesus said. Obviously, that's a huge starting place, but it's not the end point. So being spiritually prepared, I'm going to start this week. We're going to just quickly touch on one of those scriptures in the Old Testament. It's found in Ezekiel 36 and verse 26. And the prophet Ezekiel says, the Lord speaks through the prophet Ezekiel and says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. So this is God through the prophet Ezekiel saying that there's going to come a time where it's not just going to be like the Old Testament, follow the laws of Moses, do the right thing, and that's it. Whoever does the right thing is in. It's all about you. It's about your heart. It's about following Christ for the right reasons, not just, the kid in the classroom that says, I'm holding up my hand, but but I'm not in my heart. I'm not doing it. I'm just doing it because you told me to, and that's it. There's a difference. And Ezekiel talks about the time when God says, I'm going to get rid of that heart of stone, and I'm going to put a heart of flesh in you, right? So we talked about yesterday this rebirth that Nicodemus questioned Jesus about, and Jesus explained it as the wind or something unseen, right? Where it was lost in the garden when God said, you will surely die. This spiritual life died in them, and Jesus came to give it back to us and said, you need to ask for it, and you will get this. You'll be born not just of flesh, but of the spirit, right? So what I wanted to do is I want to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 3, and Paul talks about us once we have this spirit in us, right? Why are we prepared for these last days? What does it do for us? And what does it do? It's more, as we're going to see, Paul talks about, it's not just for us, it's for others. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3, Paul says this. He says, clearly you are an epistle of Christ, ministered by us, written not with ink, but by the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of flesh, that is, of the heart. In other words, your life is now an epistle being read by all men, right? And this born again experience, this new spirit that's inside your flesh now that is crying out for you to follow, right? It's an epistle read by all men. You are now an epistle. In other words, your life is now something that shows forth unto others. You're here just like Jesus was for others. Now that you have his spirit, you are for others, right? 2 Corinthians also chapter 5 and verse 20 says this, now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were pleading through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. So your whole life is calling others to be prepared. It's not just for you to be prepared, but it's for others to be prepared. So what I want to leave you with today is, listen, go out and be that epistle. Be that ambassador for Christ. Let your life, right, say to others, be reconciled to God. And you don't even have to use words. Your life will shine and it will cry out to others, be reconciled to God. Because like we covered this week, listen, before Jesus came the first time, John the Baptist was sent forth saying, get ready, he's coming. Now he's coming the second time, and God is sending out many out into the world saying, get ready, be reconciled to God. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Let your life so shine unto men and cry out to them, be reconciled to God and be prepared, for he's coming soon. And I will see you again next time on the Morning Breadcast.